Today we'll learn Introduction to Pharmacokinetic Models. I'm Dr. Inayat Bashir Pathan, Assistant Professor, Government College of Pharmacy, Aurangabad. Disclaimer: the contents are taken from the public resources and it is used for the educational purpose only. Now we'll see what are the learning objectives of this session. After completion of this topic, the student should be able to define pharmacokinetic model, classify the pharmacokinetic models, explain the various application of pharmacokinetic model. Now see the introduction of pharmacokinetic models. The pharmacokinetic model, the drug movement within the body is a complex process. The major objective is therefore to develop and generalize a simple approach to describe and analyze and interpret the data obtained during the in vivo disposition studies. The two major approaches in the quantitative study of various kinetic process of the drug disposition in the body are the model approach, and second is the model independent approach. So now we'll see the different methods of analysis of pharmacokinetic data is the model approach, and second is the model independent approach. In the model approach, it is again classified in three types, that is the compartment model, physiological model, and distribution parameter model. Whereas in the case of model independent approach, which is a non-compartment analysis. Now we'll see what are the pharmacokinetic model approach. This is the approach model are used to describe change in the drug concentration in the body with the time. The model is a hypothesis that employs the mathematical terms to consistently describe the quantitative relationship. The pharmacokinetic model provides a conscious means of expressing the mathematically or quantitatively the time course of drug throughout the body and compute meaningfully pharmacokinetic parameters. So the pharmacokinetic models by which we can determine the concentration of drug with time by using this model. The application of pharmacokinetic models are the characterizing the behavior of drug in the patient. So by using this model, we can characterize the behavior of drug in the patient, then predicting the concentration of drug in the various body fluid with any dose regimen, predicting the multiple dose concentration curve from the single dose experiment, then calculating the optimum dose regimen for individual patient, evaluating the risks of toxicity with certain doses regimen, then evaluating the bioequivalence, bioinequivalence between the different formulation of same drug, estimating the possibility of drug metabolites accumulation in the body, determining the influence of altered physiology disease state on the drug absorption, distribution, metabolism and elimination, and explaining the drug interaction. Then we'll see the what are the pharmacokinetic model are of three different types. First is the compartment model, also called as an empirical model. Second is the physiological model or the realistic model, and distributed parameter model is also a realistic model. Now we'll see the compartment model. The compartment analysis is the traditional and most commonly used approach to the pharmacokinetic characterization of drug. This model simply interpolate the experimental data and allow an empirical formula to estimate the drug concentration with the time. So from this we can remove the concentration of drug in the body by using the formulas, empirical formulas, and we can determine the concentration of drug with time. Next is we'll see what are the assumptions of this model. The compartment model are based on the certain assumptions. First is the body is represented as a series of compartments arranged either in a series or the parallel to each other that communicate reversible with each other. Each compartment is not a real physiological or anatomic region, but a fictitious or the virtual one, and consider as a tissue or a group of a tissue that have a similar drug distribution characteristic, that is a similar blood flow and affinity. This assumption is necessary because if every organ, tissue or a body fluid that can get equilibrated with the drug is considered as a separate compartment, The body will be comprised of infinite numbers of compartments, and the mathematical description of such model will be too complex. So here the organs which will be show more perfused organ will consider the blood more maximum amount of blood flow to the certain organs will be considered as a perfused organ. Maximum amount of blood flow will be flow to this organ will consider as a perfused organ, and will be considered as in the case of certain considered as a central compartment, where the organs which less amount of blood will be flow to the organs will be considered as a peripheral compartment. Next is the rate of drug movement between the compartment is described by the first order kinetic. The rate and constant are used to represent the rate of entry into an exit from the compartment. Now we'll see the depending upon whether the compartment are arranged in a parallel or series. The compartment models are classified into two types. One is the mammillary model and second is the catenary model. Now here mammillary model, this model is the most common model used in the pharmacokinetic. It consists of one or more peripheral compartment connected to the central compartment in a manner similar to the connection of the satellite to the planet. Central compartment or a compartment 1, which is also a plasma or a highly perfused tissue such as lung, liver and kidney, which rapidly equilibrate with the drug. The drug is directly absorbed into the compartment. Elimination directly absorbed into the compartment, that is in the blood, and the elimination to occur from this compartment, since the chief organ involved in the drug elimination are the liver and kidney. The highly perfused tissue and therefore presumed to be rapidly accessible to the drug in the systemic circulation. The peripheral compartment or tissue compartment are those which are low vascularity and the poor perfusion. Less amount of blood is flowing to this. It may be muscles or the adipose tissues. So these are some models. So first is the model 1, that is the one compartment open model intravenous. The one compartment is the central compartment, that is the blood, where the drug is directly administered into the intravenous by the intravenous into the systemic circulation, that is in the blood. Second is the one compartment open model extravascular, given by the drug which is given by the oral or rectal administration. Third one is the two compartment open model given by the intravenous administration. The similar the model 4, which is a two compartment open model given by the extravascular administration. Now next is the catenary model. In this model the compartment are joined to one another in a series. Means one compartment is connected to the second. So see, the compartment 1 is connected to the second is connected to the third, like the train. What we see in the case of train, that is the bogies are connected one to another. The same is called as a catenary model, and this is our not absorbable physiological or anatomical, as the various organs are directly linked to the blood compartment. Hence this model is rarely used. Now here we'll see what are the advantage and application of compartment modeling. Now first advantage is that it is a simple and flexible approach and thus widely used. Fundamentally the principal use of this approach to the account for the mass balance of the drug plasma, drug in the extravascular tissue, and the amount of drug eliminated after the administration. So this is the main advantage. So from this we can calculate the blood drug concentration from the body. Next, it gives a visual representation of various rate process involved in the drug disposition. Next, it shows how many rate constant are necessary to describe the process. Next is it is useful in predicting the drug concentration time profile in both normal physiological and pathological condition. So from this we can calculate the blood drug concentration by the concentration time profile. It is useful, it is important in development of dose regimen. Here this is most important. Here by this model we can describe or develop the dose regimen. Next, it is useful in the relating the plasma drug level to the therapeutic and toxic effect in the body. Again here from this we can determine the toxic level, toxic effect in the body. It is simplicity and allow for easy tabulation of parameters such as volume of distribution and half-life, half-life. Now we'll see what are the disadvantage of this compartment model. The compartment model and the parameter bear no relationship with the physiological function or the anatomical structure of the species. Several assumptions has to be made to facilitate the data interpretation. Next is the extensive efforts are required in the development of exact model that predict and describe the correct absorption, distribution, metabolism, that is the ADME of certain drug. The model is based on the curve fitting of the plasma concentration with the complex multi-exponential mathematical equations. The model may vary within the study population. Then the approach can be applied only to the specific drug under the study. The drug behavior within the body may be fitted differently compartment model. So these are the different disadvantage of this compartment model. Owing to this simplicity, compartment model are often misunderstood, overstated, and so these are the disadvantage. Now next we'll see the physiological model. This model are also known as a physiological based pharmacokinetic model, that is the PBPK model. They are drawn on the basis of known anatomic and physiological data. So it is drawn or described based upon the anatomic and physiological data, and thus presents a more realistic picture of drug disposition in the various organs and tissues. So now in this case we'll see the what are the different types of physiological models are there. First is which is based depend upon the two major factors. So these physiological models mainly depend upon the two main factors. One is the rate of blood flow to the organ, and second is the partition coefficient or the diffusion coefficient of the drug. So this is the two main factors. Based upon this physiological model are divided. So physiological models are further characterized in two types, that is the blood flow limited model. These model are more popular and commonly used than the second type, and are based on the assumption that the drug movement within the body region is much more rapid than its rate of delivery to that region by the perfusion blood. These models are therefore called as a perfusion rate limited model. This assumption is however applicable only to the highly permeable membrane permeable drugs, low, and the drug which showing the characteristics of the low molecular weight, poorly ionized, highly lipophilic drugs. So this type of drug are most commonly used in this model, where the drug where in this case the highly perfused the region, in this case the body within the body region is much more rapid. The blood which is for the perfused organ, when we call as a perfused organ, where the maximum amount of maximum amount of blood is flowing to that organ is called as a perfused organ, where the drug is also flowing towards that organ. But the drug which is showing the characteristic low molecular weight, poorly ionized and highly lipophilic drug, such type of drug this is applicable for the highly membrane permeable drugs which showing this characteristic. Now example we'll see that there is thiopental and lidocaine. Next is the membrane permeation rate limited models. These models are more complex and applicable to the highly polar ionized and charged drug, in which case the cell membrane act as a barrier for the drug that gradually permeated by the diffusion. Here the cell membrane will be considered as the barrier to penetrate the drug into the another side. So this model also called as the diffusion limited model, where the first model is called as the perfusion rate limited model, and the second type is called as a diffusion, because based upon the permission, that is the diffusion of drug from one side to another side. Now in this case these model are therefore also called as the diffusion limited model. Owing to the time lag in the equilibrium between the blood and tissue, the equation for this model are very complicated. Now we'll see the advantage over the conventional compartment modeling. So mathematically treatment is straightforward. Since it is a realistic approach, the model is suitable where the tissue drug concentration and binding are known. Here this is when applicable only when the tissue drug concentration and the binding is known. Data fitting is not required, since drug concentration in various body region can be predicted on the basis of organ and tissue size, perfusion rate, and experimentally determined tissue to the plasma partition coefficient. So here no need to go for the data feeding. Next advantage is this model gives the exact description of drug concentration time profile in any organ or the tissue. Next, it influences the alter the physiological and pathological drug deposition can be easily predicted from this method. Next is the disadvantage of this physiological model are obtaining the experiment data is very exhaustive process. Most physiological model assumes average blood flow for individual subject, and hence predicted of the individual dose is difficult. The number of data point is less than the pharmacokinetic parameter to be as next is the monitoring of drug concentration in the body is difficult since exhaustive data is required here. Now next is the, as we have seen the different types of model, pharmacokinetic model. One is the model approach, which is classified in three types, that is the compartment model, physiological model, and permitted data, perfusion data is there. And the second is the model independent, what we call as the model independent method is there, which is further classified as the non-compartment analysis. Now in the case of non-compartment analysis, the non-compartment analysis, also called as the model independent method, does not require the assumption of specific compartment model. It does not require any compartment model. This method is however based on the assumption that the drug or a metabolite follows the linear kinetics, and on this basis this technique can be applied to any compartment model. So here this method is however based on the assumption that the drug or metabolites follow the linear kinetics. The non-compartment approach based on the statistical moment theory involves the collection of experimental data following a single dose of drug. Here we have to calculate, we have to remove the data, that the plasma drug time profile. From there we can remove the concentration of drug in the body with the respect to the time. If one consider the time of course of the drug concentration in the plasma as the statistical distribution curve, and which is can be calculated by the mean residence time, that is MRT is equal to area under the first moment curve divided by the area under zero moment curve. Now the area under first moment curve, that is obtained from the plot of product of plasma drug concentration time curve versus time from the 0 to infinity. So this is the mathematical, so from this we can by the integration we can determine this area under curve. And second, practically the area under curve first moment and the area under curve can be calculated from the respective graph by using the trapezoidal rule. So from the trapezoidal rule we can calculate the MRT also, mean residence time. So this method involves dividing the curve by series of vertical lines. So here we have to divide the curve into the vertical lines. Like this vertical lines we have to divide this curve after getting this plasma drug concentration time profile. So in this case, after getting this, so you have to divide this graph into the vertical lines, and the number of trapezoids you have to remove, and by using this formula, area under curve is equal to T2. So on the x-axis you are looking the time, and on the y-axis the concentration. So consider this time, that may be a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, like this you have to write. And on the y-axis that the concentration, how much concentration is coming after 1 hour, 2 hour, so that will be on the y-axis. So by using this area under curve formula, that is T2 minus T1. So consider T2 there is a 5 hours and T1 is a 4 hour. So 5 minus 4 into C1 plus C2. Now C1 is the concentration at time 4 hour, and C2 is the concentration at time 5 hours. So now, so consider the C1, that is a 70 microgram or milligram plus 50 milligram. You divide it by 2. So whatever the concentration it will come, that will be at that that area, which is removed by the trapezoidal rule. So you have to after removing all this by using this trapezoid, you have to calculate by doing the addition of this, and you have to calculate the sum of this, and you have to remove the area under curve. So here area under curve, that is nothing but the total amount of drug that enter into the systemic circulation, or the total amount of drug under the curve in the blood. So in this way you can remove the area under curve and mean residence time. Now we'll see that mean residence time is defined as the average amount of time spent by the drug in the body before being eliminated. So how much time the drug is remaining in the body before the eliminated, that is nothing but the MRT. So this MRT we can determine by using the formula, that is the area under first moment curve divided by the area under curve, and this area under curve we can determine by using the trapezoidal rule by the practically. Now we'll see what are the application of non-compartment technique. So this technique is applicable. Application of this pharmacokinetic model is to determine the bioavailability, clearance, apparent volume of distribution, different parameters. This method is also useful in determining the half-life, rate of absorption, first order absorption rate constant of the drug. Now we'll see what are the advantage of non-compartment method. Easy of derivation of pharmacokinetic parameter by simple algebraic equation. So here the simple algebraic equation is this, by which we can determine the area under curve by determining this blood drug concentration with respect to time. Next, the same mathematical treatment can be applied to almost any drug or a metabolite provided by the follow the first order kinetic. So it can be used for any type of drug that follows the first order kinetics. A detailed description of drug disposition characteristics is not required here. Now see what are the disadvantage of this method. It provides a limited information regarding the plasma drug concentration time profile. More often it deals with the average. The method does not adequately treat non-linear cases. So these are the two main disadvantages related to the non-compartment analysis. Now these are the references. You can use the books, that is these three different books are there, references. And okay.